While I was in the shower today, I had a spiritual download to make this video specifically for you. So why does the Neville Goddard method work for everybody except you? For example, it worked for Anish. He went from $8,000 a month to $30,000 a month. Or it worked for Raz, who went from $70,000 a month to $165,000 a month within 30 days. Or Rachel, who went from $12,000 a month to $30,000 a month, also within 30 days, and it also helped me make $85,000 cash last month. First one that I wrote down here is that happiness has to start in the code, not in the physical manifestation. And here's a little analogy that I saw and I actually found this in a Reddit post that I want to share with you, and it really opened up my mind to really understanding manifestation at a deeper level. So check this out. Manifestation is not visualize, affirm, get my desire in the 3D world, and then you become happy in the 3D. You see, that's what most people are doing. Is it like, all right, DeAndre, once the money comes into my bank account, once I get the views on YouTube, once everything starts to happen, then I'll be happy. So they're using manifestation as this kind of tool to almost generate happiness by holding it in their hand. That's not what we're doing here. Here's how you're supposed to do it, and I open up my eyes. Manifestation is instead visualize. Get your desire in the 3D world, what I call them, in the matrix, the code, which is your imagination. Be happy inside the code, right? Be happy inside your manifestations, and then the 3D world will bring it to you, and that's just a byproduct. And I love that word. It's really important, byproduct. So you're happy in your imagination. You're happy in the code, which is the subconscious mind, before you ever have it. And this is so important because right now, if you're not getting results, and for example, the results I just showed you, those are my clients where I'm teaching this to them, and they're going in, they're doubling, tripling, 5xing, 10xing their income in a matter of a month, right? The reason they're doing this is because they right now are detaching from the material world. They're becoming happy here in the code, the subconscious mind, and if it comes, which it will come because it's a law, then they become happy as a byproduct. It's happiness that happens after the fact. What's happening is that you have almost become so reliant on the end result that you become attached. Which goes into the second point here. You have to do what I call projection rejection. Write this one down. And this is probably one of the biggest keys that holds a lot of people back. You have to reject everything that's going on in the outside world. You know, when I first got into this game, when I was working with Bob Proctor, I was sleeping in my car for 5 months in Miami. I was sleeping in couches, air mattresses. My life was just not going anywhere. If you were to look at me on the surface level, my 3D world, what I call the projection, was just terrible. But in my heart, I knew I had the potential to build millions of dollars, to build a successful business, to make content. I saw it in my mind with my imagination, but when I looked at my hand and saw the 3D projection, it wasn't working. But when I hired Bob Proctor, I had to learn really quickly how to do projection rejection. And in a way, I had to do it really quickly. So I started with him as a consultant. This is 5 years ago, 2020. I started on my grandfather's credit card. I put $5,000 down because Bob wanted $30,000 to become a consultant, which I didn't have at the time. So I put $5,000 on my grandpa's credit card. And so what that did is that gave me 30 days to not only pay up the $5,000, but I had to make a monthly payment. Remember that $30,000 that Bob wanted? I spread it across over the year in monthly installments. So I had a $3,000 bill due the next month, and I literally had to force this to work. And some people would be afraid to put themselves in that position, but that's another subject. But what I want to talk about is I gave myself a time frame. I had 30 days to not only pay the $5K, but to make the $3K payment, or they'd kick me out of the company because I wasn't making my payments. And so I had to learn this really quickly about rejecting everything that was going on around me. It didn't matter I was sleeping on my grandparents' couch in San Diego. It didn't matter I was getting no views on YouTube. It didn't matter I have no experience. It didn't matter I didn't know how to get clients or teach mindset or all the things I was learning with Bob Proctor. I had to learn really quickly. When I mean 30 days, guys, that's a very strong time frame. I had to learn to reject everything that was going on around me. And it was in those deep moments, and I'm telling you this right now from personal experience, it was in those deepest, darkest moments that I really had to go within. I really had to release everything that was going on outside of me. I really had to fall in love with the process. I almost had to fall in love with the idea. I had to fall in love with the idea of the new life that I was building, the new life that was coming to me, that was inside of me, because my outside world was so bad. And we can even talk about when I first got here to Dubai. I came in with $2,000. Now, this is after working Bob Proctor. I scaled to 7 figures, make $1.3 million. then basically lose it all after making bad investments, having a crazy lifestyle in Miami, basically losing a 7-figure business and having to start over from scratch. This is 2 years from 2020 to 2024. I basically go broke again up until literally 10 months ago. So I come here to Dubai last year, around a year ago, and I came here with a couple $1,000, and within a couple months, I ran out of money. I was literally living day to day. And there's times where I had to move out of the hotel. The hotel would call me like, hey, are you checking out today? And I had to figure out how to get a payment out of nowhere. But guys, it was in those moments where I learned projection, rejection. How does this work for you? Brother, what's going on right now is you're looking at your outside world and you're trying to apply this to your life. But you're getting sucked in by the views. You're getting sucked in by the amount of clients that are not on your calendar. You're getting sucked in by everything outside of you. So what's happening is the projection is controlling your reality. One skill that you're going to have to learn to finally get results with this material is you're going to have to reject everything. Not just because I'm saying it here. You're going to have to believe this at such a deep level that it becomes part of your reality. You become delusional. It's like people are running up to you and you just sound weird. Like I sound weird to the average person. Like that's how you have to be. So that's step number 2. You're going to have to do projection, rejection. If you don't do this, the outside simulation will continue to suck you in and it will not work. And by the way, this can happen very quickly. You don't have to wait 2 months. It can happen in the next couple coming days if you really apply this material to the next level. And the third one that I have here is you have to do the law of the vacuum. You're never going to hear this from anybody else because these are things that I practiced over the last 5 years of training this for myself. Last month, like I said, did $85,000 in a matter of 10 days in business. And I have 500 plus clients, high ticket clients where I teach this to them in their business to scale them to the next level, right? So I see these patterns of myself working it with clients, all right? So I call this a law of the vacuum. So let's go back to the idea of what are frequencies, okay? What you're really trying to do is you're trying to download information to a new frequency. That's why you're watching this, okay? This is what you're trying to do. So what happens is your thoughts, feelings, and actions, right? You send this out into the universe, into the matrix, into the code, into the simulation, right? Into the 3D. And thoughts, feelings, and action. You send that out, that's a frequency, okay? Kind of like a radio signal. You're sending this out. But you also attract the same things that are on that frequency. That's a law of attraction, AKA whatever frequency you send out, you get back, okay? Well, what is your frequency? It's your thoughts, your feelings, your actions combined. Send that out. It's a frequency. You download all the information, all the 3D projections and everything that comes into your life. That are in harmony with, that's a law of attraction. You follow me here. Okay, so now, there's a version of you in the simulation now, in the code, where you are earning what you're earning now. Let's just say you're making $5,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $10,000 a month, something like this, right? That's your current situation. That's one level of frequency. That's where you're at now. But you desire a higher frequency. Let's just say your goal is to make $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month, okay? That's happening both simultaneously, okay, simultaneously. So creation is already finished. All we're doing is living infinite amounts of frequencies, or what Bob would call the infinite amounts of vibrations, all at the same time. The simple fact that you desire or see yourself making that kind of money means that it's real, it's inside of you. It just has to transmute or change form into its physical counterpart, which is the purpose of this video. I'm educating you on how you can transmute your desire of, say, $100,000 a month into its physical counterpart, which is real in your cash in your hand, okay? So here you are. Let's just say you're making $10,000 a month now. The goal is to make $100,000, okay? Follow me here. There's a gap here. There's a gap in frequencies. I'm getting the chills thinking about it. There's a gap in frequencies, okay? What we need to do, if you want to have quantum leaps in your life, which is what I teach my clients how to do, we don't go from 10K a month to 20K to 30. We go straight from 10K to 100. Go straight to the top, okay? And the way we're going to do this is not by time and space, right, and gravity. We're not going to go out and work harder and change funnels and change offer. We want to collapse time and space. This is how I was able to go from 0 to 100,000 a month in 45 days. That first time working with Bob Proctor, I went from 0 to $95,000 a month. My first month on YouTube, I did $80,000 in a week, last week, right? And a couple weeks ago, last month. So it's like, it's time and space. And the way we collapse that is by creating a vacuum, law of the vacuum. So follow me here. Current situation, 10K. Desired situation, 100K. What we do is, first of all, we have to make a decision. We make a decision that no matter what's going on the outside world, and by the way, a decision is made with your eyes closed. A decision is how we're going to collapse time and space. Most people, they can't make decisions because they don't have the money, the views. Let me tell you this, a decision is made with your eyes closed. You get a clear image of what exactly it is that you want. How much money? What do you live like? What city? What car? What girlfriend? Everything that you want. See it in your mind. And you make that decision that this is who you're going to be. This is it. And now and the most importantly, when you're here at this higher frequency, you make a decision. That's how you collapse time and space. You have to begin to think, act, and feel like that person, right? Remember I said frequencies. The thoughts, feelings, and actions that you emit is your frequency. You're going to attract back everything that's in harmony with you. That's the law of attraction. So that's one level of frequency. But what we're going to have to do is think, act, and feel like a higher version of ourselves. That is what we have to do. So we make a decision that we're going to think, act, and feel like this higher version of ourselves. Y'all follow me here. This is so important. If you apply this, you're going to make a lot of money. And then what you have to do is you have to create a vacuum with that space. That's how we're going to shrink time and space. What we can do with the law of vacuum is this. What actions would you be taking if you already had the manifestation? If you were living in Dubai right now, would you pack your bags? Buy the flight. Buy the flight before you have the money. Hire the coaching even if you have to start on a credit card. Like, start the YouTube channel even if you don't have the views. Practice your sales script even if you don't have the clients. Make the YouTube video even if you don't have the people watching. Like, these are the things you're going to have to do, because what happens is when people, which is really what you're trying to do, what you're trying to do is you're trying to manifest people. You want money, you're trying to manifest people that have the money. You're trying to manifest views for your content, you're trying to manifest attention of people. Like, really what you're trying to do is you're trying to manifest people and the things that come through people. Okay, so really what we need to do, people can feel when there's a vacuum. They like your content. They're just like, damn, I just found a gold mine with this guy's YouTube video and this guy's channel. And they feel this need, this urge to want to subscribe to you, to want to buy from you. I literally had a guy buy from me today. He's only been watching me for 1 hour. 1 hour. He found my YouTube channel. He watched 2 YouTube videos, then purchased a program for me. I thought that was pretty cool. I hopped on a call with him. If he's watching, shout out to you. Like, that's an example of like, when you just have a frequency match with certain people, that it just clicks and they feel naturally drawn to you. You become magnetic. You become attractive. So the way we're going to do this, man, is that we're going to have to create actions or put yourself in positions where you're acting as if you had it already. This takes it to the Neville Goddard method to the next level. Just assume it's done. That's only the feeling part. Remember, thoughts, feelings, and actions. I'm challenging you. If you're not getting results, I'm adding an extra layer to this. Think the thoughts of the person that had the goal. If you already had the $100,000 a month, what would you be doing? Would you be sending out DMs? Would you be doing cold emails? Would you be posting 1 video a month? No, you'd be working in a certain way, which I don't really know what that is for you specifically. That's what my coaching is about. We implement this into your life. But let's just say you wanted to figure it out yourself. Like, what would you be doing if you had the thing already? Then number 2, feeling is the wish fulfill, assuming that it's done, right? And then you do every action in a certain way, which is holding the vision of what you want. Then you take the action behind it. And then number 3 is, what would you be doing if you had it? This is it's such a paradoxical way, because you're like, DeAndre, why would let's just say your goal is to move to Dubai. It can be any city. Let's just say it's Dubai. You're like, okay, DeAndre, I'm making $10,000 a month. I want to move to Dubai, but I'm not going to go until my channel has 10,000 subscribers. I'm making $20,000 a month and I save $50,000. Let's just say that's your goal. Buy the flight now. Even if you have to buy it 3 months in advance, 6 months in advance, the moment you buy the flight, your mind switches from one day to, oh my God, it's coming. You go past that level of decision and you start forward thinking. You're not bouncing off the wall of fear. You start to forward think. You're like, damn, I got 6 months. I've already bought the flight. I better get moving. That's an example of creating a vacuum. Buying the flight, hiring the coaching, even if you don't have the money. I've done that multiple times, hiring people and coaches to help me get out of my situations because I couldn't figure it out. The moment I hired them, that's when everything happened. Hope you got a lot of value from this. I know you did. If you want help with any of this stuff, first link in the description. Other than that, shout out to you guys. Hope this helped.